Wake County recently received some great news from three of the largest municipal bond rating agencies. Moody's, Standard & Poor's, and Fitch rating agencies once again affirmed the county's AAA rating. Wake County is one of only 42 out of over 3,000 counties in the U.S. rated AAA by all three agencies. Joining us to explain what it takes to retain such an honor is Nicole Kreiser, Wake County Debt Manager. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, you're welcome.
Why is the AAA rating so important? We hear it all the time, but I'm not sure many of the citizens understand what a AAA rating really means.
You know, the AAA credit rating is incredibly important to Wake County. A credit rating for the county is like an individual's credit score. The better the score, the lower the interest rate the county has and has to pay on debt that it borrows. Wake County is rated AAA by all three major rating agencies: Moody's, Standard & Poor's, and Fitch. The AAA is the highest score available. It allows the county to have the lowest cost of financing available, which provides the lowest cost of debt to the taxpayer. The county currently has $2 billion of debt outstanding. An additional 1% interest cost would be a requirement of an additional $20 million the county would have to pay each year, or an additional 1.58 cents on today's property tax rate. Having the AAA rating allows the county to have lower interest rates, which reduces our interest cost.
Okay. Nicole, what can damage a county's bond rating?
The rating agencies look at several different factors, and there really are some core criteria they look at, and fundamental changes in those criteria could damage a credit rating. For example, if an entity would have more expenditures than revenues, are they dipping into fund balance? Do they use fund balance without a plan to either reduce expenditures or increase revenues? Is the tax base declining? Is it stagnant? In other words, is your tax base not growing? Other things that they look at also is your economic base not varied, or is there things happening in your local economy that may change your ability to raise revenue, etc. You know, our board takes into consideration the AAA credit rating very seriously. In March, as part of the goals the board adopted, the very first goal was to preserve the county's strong financial management practices, and they had adopted an objective, and that objective was to look at the rating agency's new criteria and to amend the county's financial policies and debt guidelines necessary to continue to achieve the AAA credit rating. So the Board of Commissioners this past May adopted revised fund balance policy and debt guidelines, and those revisions and changes show the county's willingness to continue to achieve the AAA rating from all three rating agencies, such that our rating won't be damaged.
Nicole, it appears that, unlike in past evaluations, whether it's done by phone or going up to New York to meet one-on-one, members of these bond rating agencies obviously were impressed with the visit. What were some of their comments, and how long did it take after their visit for them to make the announcement that Wake County had retained its AAA rating?
Well, after our presentations, it took about a week for the rating to be announced. The rating agency analysts have to go to rating committee, and then they release the county's rating, in which our AAA was affirmed by all three rating agencies. We've received really favorable feedback. They enjoyed being able to see Wake County and see how we use bond proceeds and how we are meeting the growth in the area. Standard & Poor's cited the county's strong local economy and very strong reserves. And they also talked about our financial management conditions that were strong and well embedded and likely sustainable. Moody's talked about our varied economic base and robust financial position. Fitch talked about our economic profile and our prudent financial planning.
So it sounds like all three bond rating agencies were very impressed with what they not only saw in the numbers, but what they saw in person in regards of really looking at some of the county resources that we have.
I think the takeaway is by having our AAA affirmed by all three that we did what we set out to do, which was to show why Wake County is great and why we take serious consideration issuing debt to meet the growth of our community.
Nicole Kreiser, Wake County Debt Manager, thanks so much for sharing this information with us.
You're welcome.